like the broadcast, share it, invite your friends, invite your frenemies, your not so friendly friends, invite everyone to join us tonight. Tomorrow is the D-Day for the retrial of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the persecuted leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, a man they kidnapped from Kenya over 4 years ago on a trumped up charges that they constantly and continued to amend and amend. In their own courtroom, their own court has ruled that Nnamdi Kanu had no case to answer in Nigeria simply because whatever they claim that is committed or any crime is committed was committed in the UK. Therefore, he should actually go and be tried in the UK. Secondly, when he got kidnapped in Kenya, that automatically gave Nigeria away, or should we say, Nigeria lost all their rights to try Nnamdi Kanu for anything. Their court ruled, and it was compensated for the treatment method at him, right? Their court said Nnamdi Kanu should be put on a private plane and be allowed, right, to leave Nigeria without any form of harassment or what have you, if he wants to. Rather, under Bukuwari, Malamu, who is now an opposition, working to come back to power so that they can rescue you from Tifnumbu. It was Malamu that orchestrated the kidnapping of Nnamdi Kanu. When their court ruled that Nnamdi Kanu had no case to answer, he went straight to the Supreme Court to have a stay of execution kind of order. And their Supreme Court then ruled that revocation of Nnamdi Kanu's bail by their court was pretty much wrong. And therefore, it should be released. That means, but however, the Supreme Court cowered by going on to say it should be retried. On what? The same thing. Anyway, they put a judge, Omotosho. They put a judge in charge and said, okay, they're going to retry these different charges. Initially, they charged him for treason, rather. They charged him for treason and incitement. Then they dropped that. Now they are charging him for terrorism and incitement. And when the prosecution team, which is the Tifnumbu's, because it's under Tifnumbu, the rule that they have to retry him. So the prosecution team on behalf of Nigeria said, let me take that again, by the way. So the prosecution team on the side of Nigeria presented their witnesses, which they actually masked. So these faceless guys came and claimed that, what they found on Nnamdi Kanu, because they were a member of the DSS. And what were the evidence that Nnamdi Kanu had any link to terrorism? They said Radio Biafra. And they're actually quoting what Nnamdi Kanu said in his broadcasts on Facebook, stuffs that are pretty much public. That's their evidence that Nnamdi Kanu has a link to terrorism or has anything to do with what is going on in this eastern part of Nigeria. So they spent, I think, about 2 weeks or thereabout in presenting what they call their evidence. Afterward, in the middle of that, it was also discovered by the judge when Nnamdi Kanu was allowed to address the court, and he told the judge what he's been subjected to. how he's been psychologically been, tortured, physically tortured, denied access to healthcare, denied access to his right to his to worship his faith, right? All of these were shocking enough that even the supposed statement of Nnamdi Kanu that they recorded according to the DSS became something that the court ruled that they are not admissible. I don't know if some of you remember that. So it was considered that Nnamdi Kanu was, whatever he said to them was taken out of duress, meaning they were forced out of him. It was not consensual. So therefore, it is not admissible. So in this ongoing retrial, so the court ruled that the evidence of the DSS and Nigeria is not admissible. However, when it was the turn of the defense, Nnamdi Kanu's lawyers, they just presented a no case submission. And this was not just to say, oh, he's got no case, just let him go. No. So they put up their own reasons and defense for why all these are just like a show of persecution for, for no reason. So their no case submission is that wherever court you take Nnamdi Kanu to in Nigeria, you are just wasting the precious time, so to say. Leave him and let him go. No case submission. So tomorrow, Justice Omotosho be in Justice Omotosho will rule on that no case submission. And what will be the ruling? He's already considered the case, so based on his recent ruling on the same matter, right? So he has considered the entire case as a sham himself. However, we all know that there are vested interests both in Igbo land as well as in the Fulani camps. All the interests that are hell-bent in ensuring that Nnamdi Kanu continue to suffer injustice, persecution, right, are also looking forward to tomorrow. So what is expected tomorrow? Well, it is for the court to rule that indeed, based on the fact that Nnamdi Kanu got kidnapped, there was no real international kind of like law followed. Most of them that Nigeria is probably like a signatory to, right? So Nigeria broke international laws. So it is ideal for anybody that knows law in that contraption, which is expected of the judges, right? Ordinarily to consider the entire thing as a waste of time. There are already established rulings on this matter. Kenyan court, even Kenya government had to deny their role in kidnapping of Nnamdi Kanu. So in their own court, it's already been ruled, right, that Nnamdi Kanu's abduction, as well as the torture, including him being taken to Nigeria, they are all completely illegal. That is from the Kenyan court. They have an ECOWAS court, a West African sort of, kind of like regional court, also ruled against Nigeria that this entire thing is pure abuse of judicial process, abuse of power, abuse, right? Now, in Nigeria, there are already 3 different court judgments, right, against Nigeria, still on the same matter, based on the human rights violations of this same Nnamdi Kanu. But the thing is, you are dealing with despots. You are dealing with criminals, lawless people who cherry picks which of their own laws, right, they were there to, or their own court judgment they will obey, right? This is the people we are dealing with. So his family, as well as a member of his legal team, raised alarm just about last week, right? When they went to court, again, Nnamdi Kanu has become more or less like a money-making machine for not just the DSS directors or whatever, right? Including some of their subordinates. It's on record. Can you believe this? That every time they take Nnamdi Kanu to court, that he appears in their courts, right? It costs Nigeria between 500 and 700 million naira to provide security. Yeah, you heard me right. Every time you see Nnamdi Kanu in a courtroom, since at least for the past 4 years, every time they manage to bring him to their court, it costs the security or Nigeria over 500 million naira. Who are those collecting the money? What kind of security are they providing? So they make it pretty much look like, oh, uh, it's expensive to manage him. However, it is even cheaper that way, because when he stays with them at the DSS, rather than stay, court says, if court says go and put him in the main prison where, due process will be followed when you want to visit him, family members will be allowed to see him and all that. DSS argued that, and the court agreed that a man that they have locked in their underground cells severally, tortured physically, psychologically abused, with evidence, so as well as with medical reports that said that some of these things are already having, a bad impact on his health, and he needed medical attention. So some are now asking, are they, if Nnamdi Kanu indeed committed any crime, yeah, are they prosecuting him to at least make him accountable for what he's done, or they are just persecuting him enough that they just wanted him dead? There is nothing justice or whatever in any of this, right? In that same Nigeria where we are watching with our kuro eyes, where Fulani terrorists and other terrorists, right, are granting press conference, they are granting interviews to media in the presence of the military, DSS and all the security guys. In that same place, this whole thing is playing out. So the DSS then came out and said, oh, hang on, the court denied that. They requested that it should be allowed to see the doctors, a proper doctor, go to the proper hospital, okay? And this is not just from his own personal physicians or recommended physicians. It's also coming from the supposed DSS doctor who said, well, indeed, they should let him see or go to the proper hospital, get proper check. You know what I mean? And they denying that. The court denying that. Then DSS came later and said, oh, he's been taken to the hospital. He's gotten out this care he needed. Don't listen to what anyone is saying. Like, seriously. Here is what a member of, what do you call it? Nnamdi Kanu's team had to say. But before that, just yesterday, I believe, a group of elders, right, came out to march down straight to the government house in Abia, right? Because he's from Afaraoku in Abia, right? So to march down to the government house to say, you guys should do everything that you have to do to get this innocent man released. This is no longer prosecution. This is no longer about the safety and security of wherever. Sure, you get, there is now more to it. Yeah, protest. I'm coming back to that is health stuff, okay?
I think I can speak for you now. I'm part of you. You know? I joined the Nnamdi Kanu before my cross because we understand I didn't go too much. How many of you were executives? 5 of us. How many of you? 5 of okay. I want to talk to the executive. And being a responsible government, and I am not here, because I make sure that, like His Excellency has said, every Abian is properly taken care of. And if you don't belong, you don't no problem. So let us have I have here the Secretary to the State Government. He goes, you know that any little thing you don't manage as a responsible government of His Excellency Dr. Lex Joma will respond. We like people to organize themselves orderly, just like Unule organize orderly. Instead of meeting no here that moon. So what for trying your leaders, let us just go and have a meeting. Hold on. 1 minute now. Hold on. Let's everybody. Let's talk. Because I'm going to do Abia Elders Forum. Mamano. Yeah. Nzikondibo, ndokelibo, mamano. Yeah. Nzikondokelibo, mamano. Yeah. Ndafi unudonga. Yeah. Nanugu unudaya. Yeah. Anambaru unudaya. Yeah. Imo unudaya. Yeah. Ebo unudaya. Yeah. Go to Nujibia. Go to trek. No, don't go motor. No, okay, we're not at the here now. Okay, get the room, Marina, Moon, and all the rest of them. I don't know why you put like I'm going to go to Libya. Gosiputa iwe n'obi ọjọọ lọnụ majụrụ anyị n'obi na ihe na-eme n'obodo anyị bụ Naịjirịa gbasara nwanne anyị nwoke bụ Mazi Nnamdi Kanu onye ejichiri na mkpọrọ kemgbe afọ
onye du aịkpọ o meriwo n'izu onye ya abakare mama daura una pori meri Nnamdi win the war Python dance 1 Python dance 2 na Python dance 3 una pori meri Nnamdi win the war Python dance 1 Python dance 2 na Python dance 3 una pori meri Nnamdi bụ onye du aịkpọ o meriwo n'izu mbiro ya abakare mama ndawụra unu abụghị meri Nnamdi win the war Python dance 1, Python dance 2, now Python dance 3. Unapoli Mary Nnamdi.
Nnamdi win the war.
Python dance 1, Python dance 2, now Python dance 3. Unapoli Mary Nnamdi.
Nnamdi win the war.
Python dance 1, Python dance 2, now Python dance 3. Unapoli Mary Nnamdi.
Nnamdi win the war.
Python dance 1, Python dance 2, now Python dance 3. Unapoli Mary Nnamdi.
Nnamdi win the war.
Python dance 1, Python dance 2, and Python dance 3. Unapoli Mary Nnamdi.
Nigeria committed systemic genocide